2022. Approval of the agenda. Councilor Nobre.
That the May 12th, 2022 special budget council meeting agenda be adopted as presented.
Seconder. Councilor Lehman. All in favor? Carried. Bylaws. 3.1 Financial Plan Bylaw number 712, 2022 to 2026 Financial Plan. Oh, sorry, I thought you had something here. Reported dated May 12, 2022 from the Director of Finance requesting 3 readings of the District Tumbler Financial Plan Bylaw number 712, 2022. Recommendation. Councilor Nobre.
That council gives first reading to the District of Tumbler Financial Plan Bylaw number 712, 2022.
Seconder. Second it. Discussion. Councilor Howe.
So the question, if we were able to find out any information about the issue on staff wages?
Ms. Torval, we'd have to go to closed. Ms. Torval?
We would have to go in close, but because of the busyness of preparing for this budget meeting, getting things ready, staff has been tasked, and I was told this morning that that information would be forthcoming tomorrow.
Okay. Councilor Howe?
When's the final reading then?
Tomorrow morning.
Okay.
When can changes be made up till the 3rd reading?
Yes, you can do your first and second reading, changes between second and third, or you can do, your 3 readings and then rescind your second reading, or your 3rd reading, sorry, come back, because changes are made between the 2nd and 3rd reading.
Okay. Or rescind the other recommendation. Okay. Any more discussion? All in favor of the motion on the floor? Opposed? Carried. Second recommendation. Councilor Nobre.
The council gives second reading of the District of Tumbler Ridge Financial Plan Bylaw number 712, 2022.
Seconder. Councilor Lehman. Discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Third recommendation. Councilor Nobre.
The council gives third reading of the District of Tumbler Ridge Financial Plan Bylaw number 712, 2022.
Seconder. Councilor Lehman. Discussion. Councilor Howe.
I think we should hold off on this. I don't think we should do the last reading. If this is the last opportunity to make changes, we should hear what staff has to say tomorrow before we do the 3rd and 4th reading.
Okay.
We don't have clarity on a wage issue in the DTR right now, so without that issue on clarity, and I don't want us to find some way to all of a sudden cut wages and have a surplus budget. I want us to lower our taxes again for the industrial and light industrial and heavy industrial. So I think we need to get that information from staff, and this is our last crack.
Okay. Just give me 1 second, Councilor Nobre. Ms. Torval, what does that do in regards to 3rd and 4th reading tomorrow? Can that be done in a single day?
We can do a 3rd reading tomorrow.
Okay. And then we would have to have another meeting.
Yeah, another meeting to do a 4th reading.
Okay.
Our deadline is 15.
How much time between the 3rd and the 4th do we need the final reading? Sorry.
24 hours.
So we'd have to do Saturday meeting. 15th, does anybody know what the 15th is? Sorry, I don't. Ms. Torval?
Sorry. That will not give staff time to make the adjustments. Should there be changes, that won't give staff time to do those changes for a reading for the 14th or the 15th.
Okay.
And it would require staff to be here over the weekend.
Correct. Okay. The impact is we're delayed in sending it into the government by 4 or 5 days.
Yes, and we won't be able to send out tax notices, tax collection.
Until we have it sent to the government. Is that how that works? I'm sorry, I just want clarity on how this.
Until we have a tax rate bylaw in place.
Okay. Okay, Councilor Nobre.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I think we're too late to make these proposed changes. I do understand we do have questions we want to have answered. But from my understanding, we're looking at a small amount compared to a $22 million budget. we need to make sure that we are compliant with our deadlines, and we did have time up until now to investigate these changes. We have to look at these changes moving forward and adjust. We could potentially look at rebates if it comes down to a massive amount to individuals, organizations, but at this point in time, we need to make sure that we're compliant with our deadlines.
Councillor Howe and then Councillor Kirkcalkin.
Is the rebate an option?
Ms. Torval.
Speak with Ms. Taggarty.
So Mayor and Council, I've never actually done that. I've never had to do that. That being said, I'm not saying it can't be done. I would probably have to, I would like to go according to the ministry.
Okay. Councillor Howe. Follow.
You know, I know this is strange and this is outside of the norm, but we're certainly backed into a corner here. But an option may be that if staff is able to come up with some savings within the wages of the DTR, that we may be able to find out what that number is, push that number forward to next year, and then give a tax break next year based on the money that we made from this year. Hold that money back and give a tax break for next year in the heavy industrial and light industrial. Not the way I'd like to do it at all. I'd like to have our numbers finalized before we agree on a budget. I understand that it's been very tough times and getting this together, but it's very tough for me to vote for something and give my okay to when I don't feel that it's been finalized.
Yeah, and I was going to say the same thing. That's why I asked in regards to when we can make changes, because that is a fairly prompt question that came out of a council meeting. And I understand where Council Norbury comes from, but when you get information and it comes out like that, staff hasn't had time to do the investigation. We say small change, but it could be a big change. Do we know? We say small, maybe they say small, but maybe it is a big difference. Again, I just want to go back to staff and get just some intel from staff. I understand the workloads. I understand, like, I'm not saying staff should be here this weekend, don't take me wrong. But if this third reading does go down because we're waiting for clarity to come back from staff in regards to a question that was asked, where does that sit with staff? I just want some clarity from staff. I understand the government expects us to have it on this deadline, totally get that. But if we have it later, we can still cut taxes. Mrs. Torval.
Sorry. I would like respectfully to ask that we go into a closed meeting.
Okay. Do we have, I don't have the sheet. Can someone supply me? I know it's under, Mr. He has it.
J. C and J.
Okay, I'll put a motion on the floor that council goes into closed meeting in regards to C, labor relations or other employee relations. And information that's prohibited or information that, if it were presented in a document, would be prohibited from disclosure under Section 21 of the Freedom of Information Protection of Privacy Act. Seconded. Councillor Howe. Any questions? All in favor? Carried.
Okay.
5-minute recess.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Done.
Live stream. Done. Stores.